Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram
Naram
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim
Devim
Saraswatim
Saraswatim
Vyaso
Vasim.
Tato Jayamudirayet
Tato Jayam
Jayam
Udirayam
Udirate.
Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu
Ashtaprayeshu
Ashtaprayeshu
Abhadresu
Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya
Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavatam
Bhagavate Uttama
Shloke
Sloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki
Bhakti
Bhagavati
Bhavatiti
Naistike
Nayastiti.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki
Devaki
Nandanaya
Nandanaya
Nandanaya Cha.
Cha.
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda Gopa
Nandagoparaya
Kumaraya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya
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 Namo
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 Namaha.
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 Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. So today we are beginning chapter 4 actually. And this is continuation of chapter 3 where discussion of pastimes of Lord were happening between Uddhava and Vidura. So Uddhava is continuing to speak here. Ata te tad anugnata.
Atha te tat anugnata.
Is it clear or is the size font small?
Somewhat
It's
size.
clear,
Okay, now
Prabhu.
it is better.
Is better. Bhuktva pitva cha varuni.
Bhukva
Bhutva pitva
Pitva Chavarunim.
shachaparanunim.
Taya vibramsita jnana
Taya
Taya
vibramsita
Vibramsita
jnana.
Jnana.
duruktair marma pashpruhu. So
Duruktair
Durukter
marma
Marma
pashparushu.
please do.
Thereafter, all of them, the descendants of Vrishni and Boza, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of the remnants of prasada and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge. They touched the course of each other's hearts with harsh words.
This is the Yadu dynasty, the descendants of Lord Krishna on the banks of Prabhasa Kshetra. When on the instruction of Lord, they all went there to perform certain rituals and offer, food to the god, and then it's like more like a picnic time. They all went to enjoy some time upon the instruction of Lord. Everybody went there. So they took the prasadam, and then in those days, these are like kshatriyas. They were allowed to drink some kind of liquor made of rice. It is made of rice. But after drinking them, they all became delirious because intoxication causes illusion, right? So they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge. They all spoke harsh words to each other. And this is not like mundane pastime. This is all by the desire of the Supreme Lord. Okay? Because Lord wanted all his descendants to live before he left the world. The Lord always does, when a Lord comes as Rama or Krishna, because uh, Lord want to have these, children of his and family of his along with him, wherever he is. So he has, and secondly, these devotees will be, when Lord leaves, they will be very morose, and they may, they will be like very miserable. So that's why the Lord did not want to leave them. Instead, Lord wanted to send them all before he left. Please continue.
So the descendants of Varshni and Bhoja formally took the permission from the Brahmanas and ate prepared foodstuff. Kshatriyas are permitted to drink at certain occasions, so they all drank a kind of light liquor made of rice. By such drinking, they became delirious and bereft of sense, so much so that they forgot their relationship with one another and used hard words which touched the cores of each other's hearts. Drinking is so harmful that even such a highly cultured family becomes affected by intoxication and can forget themselves in a drunken state. The descendants of Vrishni and Bhoja were not expected to forget themselves in this way. But by the will of the Supreme it happened, and thus they became harsh towards one another.
Yeah, this is all external display. This is all transcendental pastime. Not to be just understood like, oh, how these devotees of the Lord, or direct family of Lord, became intoxicant. This is all by the will of the Lord. It's not a mundane incident of intoxication. Tesha Maitreya doshena
Esamavyeya doshena
Visamikrita chetasam
Visamrikrita
Visamritasam
setasam
Nimlochatiravav asid
Nimlochati rava
Nimlochatiravasid
asid
Venunam iva mardanam.
Venunam
Venunam
eva
Ivamardina.
martana.
Translation. As by Nitya. As by the sorry, Anandaram Prabhu is nearby, so he's echoing.
Maybe he can mute.
No, I'm speaker.
Okay.
As by the friction of bamboos, destruction takes place. So also at sunset, by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Just as there is no possibility of a fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed his order as indicated by the word Tat Anugyata.
Tadarujñata. So this is according to the instruction of the Lord. So the devotees of the Lord, they do not care what misunderstanding the world will have by their actions. They continue to act according to the desire of the Lord. They understand exactly what Lord desires and they act accordingly. Just like how Bhishmadev was misunderstood by everybody in the world, that why he is acting on the side of Kauravas. But there was a lesson that Lord wants to teach. He is the most powerful warrior in the world, but because he is on the wrong side, even though you are the most powerful person, you will be destroyed if you are taking the side of adharma. Is the teaching that Lord wanted to teach through him. A great devotee had to be sacrificed, right? That's how it is. And here, Lord wanted his family be destroyed, and through an act of intoxication. Just as friction of bamboos takes place. Bamboos in the in the forest, nobody knows how they rub each other, and fire takes place suddenly, right? Nobody's controlled, but still it happens by the natural forces, right? So similarly, this instant, nobody incited, but just by the desire of the Supreme Lord, it just happened. Yeah. Just like forest is entirely destroyed by the friction, a small incident of misunderstanding and harsh words between two people just exploded, and slowly everybody came into a imbalanced state, and they destroyed each other. Yeah. So that's why the example is given. When there is, continue reading from here.
When there is no need of fire in the forest, by the will of Supreme, it takes place due to friction among bamboos. Similarly, the descendants of Yadu were all destroyed by the will of the Lord by the process of self destruction. Just as there is no possibility of a fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed his order, as indicated by the word Tad Anugyata.
So, and this generally Lord's pastime, each of the pastime, they can be understood at three levels. I was hearing from a devotee. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. Adi Daivika is Lord's dealings with his internal potency, like Yadus, for example. They're all um, they're all part of his family in the spiritual world, and Lord has direct dealings with them, and we may not be able to understand exactly. Externally, we may not understand what the internal desire of the Lord in all those pastimes. So that is one. We can understand this as the desire of the Lord, instead of, oh, the devotees of the Lord, they drank, and so naturally there was fight. So we have to understand from the Adi Daivika perspective. The second is Ad, Ad, Adi Bhautika. Adi Bhautika is how Lord relates the people in general of this world, right, who are not necessarily into uh, you know spiritual life, or and trying to understand what is spirit and matter, right? So he deals with the three modes of material nature. So that is Adi Bhautika. And Adhyatmika is how he deals with devotees, um, to help them progress spiritually, right? So here, in each of them, from each aspect, we can take a lesson, right? So here in this case, specifically Adi Bhautika perspective, the people of this world can learn, if you are intoxicated, destruction is inevitable. That is a lesson externally for people, general people. That is a lesson, right? And for the pure devotees, the lesson is, pure devotees would not mind what the world understands. They just follow uh, whatever is the desire of the Lord, and they are like amicable instruments that, malleable instruments that act according to the desire of the Lord. So this is the desire of the Lord, and they all got into this state, and they all got killed. So in this way, at different levels, we can understand. As as a practicing devotee, you learn that, yeah, intoxication is should be avoided. Yeah? That is um, not good for spiritual growth, right? So at different levels, we should understand any of these pastimes. There are lessons at different levels. We should always see from Lord's perspective, pastime, not just from external perspective, and only acharyas, they exactly know because they heard in the parampara. So without this purport, just by reading the translation of these two verses, one may misunderstand completely, think that these Yadavas are like ordinary people of this world who also, went to picnic and drank wine, right? And so they destroyed each other by speaking harsh words. It's not, it's not the real reason. Only through the purports of acharyas can we really understand the real purpose. Bhagavan Swatma Mayaya
Bhagavan Svatmamaya
Gatim Tam Avalokya Sa
Gatim Tam Avalokya Sa
Saraswatim Upasprisya
Sarasvatim Upasrisya
Vrikshamulam Upavisad.
Rakshamulam Upavisat.
Please read.
Translation. The personality of God, Lord Shri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of river Saraswati, sipped water, and sat down underneath a tree.
This is Lord. Go ahead.
Purport. All the above mentioned activities of the Yadus and Bojas were executed by the internal potency of the Lord because he wanted them to be dispatched to their respective abodes after he had finished his mission of descent. They were all his sons and grandsons and were given complete protection by the paternal affection of the Lord. How they could be vanquished in the presence of the Lord is answered in this verse. Everything was done by the Lord himself. Swatma Mayaya.
Mayaya.
Mayaya. Swatma Mayaya. The Lord's family members were either incarnations of his plenary expansions or demigods from the heavenly planets. And thus, before his departure, he separated them by his internal potency.
So before he departed, he separated them by his eternal potency so that they will be in their respective places. They all came along with the Lord just before the Lord descended to this world. They all came because Lord will come with his associates. Lord never comes alone. And when he leaves, he will also take them to their respective place because they're all extraordinary living entities and they have specific form and duties in their respective places, and they have to resume their services accordingly. So just like in a drama, people go act different roles, and once the drama is over, everybody goes to their respective places of residence. So similarly, this action was enacted, and people leave. The devotees leave. Continue, Prabhu. Shiva Prabhu.
Such an exhibition of his internal potency is eternal and therefore not believed that the Yadus and Buddhas in an ordinary system performance.
Yeah, it's like a drama, like Jiva Goswami is saying here. This is like a drama. This is not like a ordinary pastime of this world. Even though externally it appears like a war between devotees, but it is not. It's all internal potency. It's the highest potency of the Lord. Lord wanted to dispatch them to their respective places where they came from, whether it is higher planets or spiritual world, Goloka. Yeah, so they all went back to where they came from. Aham chokto bhagavata
Aham Chokto Bhagavata
Prapanarthi Harenaha
Prapanardi Harenaha
Badarim Tvam Prayahiti
Badarim Thavim Prayahiti
Kulam Samnihirshuna
Evam
Swakulam
Nishana.
Sanjitsina.
Nihirshuna.
The Lord is vanquisher of the distress of one who is the surrender unto him. Thus, he who desired to destroy his family told me previously to go to Badarkashram.
Yeah, so he's just speaking about what he asked of him, which is to go to Badarikashrama. So Lord instructed Uddhava, even though he is part of his overall family, he didn't see he was there, and he has a specific duty in the Badarikashrama. So he asked him to go to there. We'll know what Lord's desire is in the next coming chapters and verses. Yeah. And the reason, one more reason is why Lord wanted Uddhava to leave is so that he will not go through the experience of watching all the Yadu dynasty getting destroyed. Tatapi tad abhipretam
Tatapi
Tatapi tad abhipretam
janan aham arindama
Janim
Janan aham arindama
pristato ma anva gamam bhartru
Prishtatam
Prastaso navagamam bhartu
padavisleshana kshama.
Padavishleshana
Padavishleshana
kshama.
I'll read Prabhu, this Anandaram Das.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yet in spite of my knowing his desire to destroy the dynasty, O Arindama, Vidura, I followed him because it was impossible for me to bear separation from the lotus feet of the Master.
I followed him because it was impossible for me to bear. Yeah. So he knows, Uddhava always follows the instruction of the Lord as it. Yeah. Adraksham ekam asinam
Adraksham ekam asinam
jinvan dayitam patim
Vichinnavam
Daitam
Dayatim
Patim
niketam saraswatyam
Ketam
Sriniketam
Saraswatyam
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 krita
Sriniketam
etam
Saraswatam
aketanam.
Krita
Kritaketam
Ketam
Aketanam.
Aketanam.
Please read.
Thus following, I saw my patron and master, Lord Sri Krishna, sitting alone and deeply thinking, taking shelter on the bank of the river Saraswati, although he is the shelter of the goddess of fortune.
Yeah, so after the family is all taken to their respective abodes, means they're all destroyed in the middle world. Now everybody is gone. Lord also will be leaving the world. So on that Prabhakshetra bank itself, he was sitting on I think next verse will come. He was sitting on a banyan tree. Yeah. He is just about to leave the world now, sitting alone, deeply thinking. That's how it is mentioned. Shama Vadatam Virajam
Shama
Shama
Vadatam
Vadantam
Virajam
Viradam
Prashantaruna Lochanam
Prasantaruna Lochanam
Lochanam
Dorbhis Chaturbhir Viditam
Bhishchaturvir
Durbishchaturbhir
Viditam
Viditam
Pita Kausambarena Cha.
Pita
Pita Kaushambarena Cha.
Kausambarena Cha.
Please read.
The Lord's body is blackish, but is eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, and very, very beautiful. His eyes are always peaceful, and they are reddish like the rising morning sun. I could immediately recognize him as the personality of Godhead by his four hands, different symbolic representations, and yellow silk garments.
So when Lord was contemplating near the bank of Saraswati river, is planning to leave this world. So this is departing pastime of the Lord. So Uddhava actually sees the four-handed form of the Lord. This is the description of the Lord's appearance. He's bluish black, full of bliss and knowledge, and extremely beautiful. Eyes are always blissful, and they are reddish like the rising morning sun, light pinkish reddish eyes. By looking at the four arms, he can see with the four symbols of Vishnu. He had seen that, and the yellow garments, and recognize that he is the Supreme Lord. And Uddhava also looks exactly like Lord Krishna. Vama Urav Ajisristya
Ora Antishristya
Sristya
Dakshinangri Saroruham
Dakshinagiri
Dakshinagri
Dakshinagiri
Saroruham
Saroruham
Apasritabhya Bhaka Swatham
Vasitar
Apasritar
Sritar
Vakasvatam
Vakasvatam
Akrisham Chakta Pipalam.
Krisham
Akrisham
Krisham
Tyakta
Chaktapipalam.
Jata
Pipapalam.
Pipalam.
Translation. The Lord was sitting, taking rest against a young banyan tree, with his right lotus foot on his left thigh, and although he had left all household comforts, he looked quite cheerful in that posture.
While living in this world, Lord has had built about 16,000 palaces for each wife. Each one had their own palace, and with each one he had 10 children. All the opulences were there, and each of the palace was made of rubies and emeralds. There was nothing like that in the middle world before that and after that. But when he was leaving, everybody is now taken back to their abodes, including all those wives. Everybody was now destroyed or sent back to their places. But he was cheerful. He was not. So it also shows Lord's opulence of renunciation. We hear 6 opulences of the Supreme Lord, and this is the opulence of renunciation. He gave up all the comforts, but he was quite cheerful in that posture. Just now he literally, like, all his families left the world just now, but he was very calm and peaceful and cheerful. He was just resting on a young banyan tree. Banyan tree also represents the middle world, right? In the 15th chapter, right, Bhagavad Gita, how urdhamolam adashakam. So that verse talks about how middle world is like a banyan tree. So Lord was the supreme who was the creator of this banyan tree. Yeah, please read this.
And because this particular universe is the smallest of all, the banyan tree is therefore designated as small or as child. Tyakya Pippalam indicates that he had now finished his pastimes in this particular small universe. But since the Lord is absolute and eternally blissful, there is no difference between his leaving or accepting something. The Lord was now prepared to leave this particular universe and go to another, just as the sun rises on one particular planet and sets in another simultaneously, but does not change its own situation.
Just like sun moves from sunset to sunrise state, it's on a continuous journey. Similarly, Lord leaving does not mean anything. Lord is just moving from one place to the other. Next, to perform his continue his pastimes in the So this young banyan tree represents the small material world of ours, which is relatively very small compared to other universes. That's why this is that's how it is mentioned. Chakta Pippalam, Lord finished his pastimes of this material world. So indicated by symbolically indicated by the young banyan tree on which he was just resting now. He was just about to leave this world. Tasmin Mahabhagavato
Tasmin Mahabhagavata
Dvaipayana Suhrutsaka
Vaipayana Suhrutsaka
Lokan Anucharan Siddha
Anucharan Siddha
Asa Sada Yadrichaya.
Asasada Yadrichaya.
At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, a great devotee of the Lord and friend and well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, reached that spot out of his own perfect accord.
So Maitreya is another great devotee of the Lord, and he's also the student of Parasara, great Rishi Parasar, who is the father of Vyasadeva. By being student of Parasara, he is also of the similar age as Vyasadeva, so who is his friend. Right? So he happened to visit that spot where Lord Krishna was about to leave this world. Yadrichaya, out of his own accord. There was no plan for it, but it happened. Yeah, please read.
Maitreya was one of the disciples of Maharshi Parasara, the father of Vedavyasa. Thus, Vedavyasa and Maitreya were friends and mutual well-wishers. By some fortunate accident, Maitreya reached the place where Lord Sri Krishna was resting. Pure devotees always engage in pure devotional activities, and therefore their meeting with the Lord is natural. But when those who are not up to that standard meet the Lord, it is due to the unforeseen fortune of
Accidental devotion service. Yeah.
accidental devotions.
Yeah. So Maitreya is not. So Uddhava is a pure devotee of the Lord. He has supreme love for the Supreme Lord. But Maitreya is also a devotee, but he also is more focused on Jnana Marg. Jnana. He is more of a Jnana yogi. But he was fortunate enough to come at this time to hear this, to be in the presence of the Supreme Lord. And Uddhava is there. Uddhava is close to the Lord. And Lord has personal relation, also love for very close relation with Uddhava. And what happens between, so there is a long discussion between Uddhava and Lord Krishna at this time that happens. And Maitreya was the third witness. He was just there, he was just listening to Lord speak, and Uddhava ask questions, and it's a back and forth conversation. Just like there was back and forth conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this conversation, this special conversation between Uddhava and Lord Krishna becomes the primary topic of entire canto of the 11th canto, Uddhava Gita section especially. The entire canto was primarily focused on that, most of it. And Maitreya also hears, and there is a further after this, we are in the third canto. Next two cantos, Canto 4 and Canto 5, were actually the expansions of the knowledge that Maitreya received in this discussion between Lord Krishna and Uddhava directly. And what is it about? It is about how the whole universe works, how the creation worked. All those details were, discussed between Lord and Uddhava. And Maitreya happens to hear, because he is a Gnana Yogi. Naturally, he comes there and he hears this. And who is a devotee good at speaking the process of creation and all? Devotees are not as much interested in the technicalities of how material existence works, but a Gnani yogi like Maitreya does. And so in this context, actually, by the desire of the Lord, Maitreya happens to appear there out of his own accord. But actually, it is the plan of the Lord, so that in the future he would speak about this creation process in a conversation with Vidura. And that is the that sets the platform for Canto 4 and 5, actually. So practically what Lord Krishna spoke just before leaving the world became the content of almost 3 cantos, literally in the entire 12 cantos. His own pastimes is 10th canto. His direct teachings to Uddhava on devotion service is 11th canto. His instructions about the existence of material world and everything is, 4th and 5th. So you can see like how Lord Krishna's influence is everywhere. And second canto, as you have seen, the whole context setting, and even the first canto, a lot of the chapters were about, um, about the how Pandavas were great devotees, and it's all about setting the context for uh, speaking the details of Lord Krishna. Yeah. Tasyanuraktasya Munermukunda
तस्यान्युरक्तस्य मुनिर्मुकुन्दः
Pramodabhavanatakandarasya
प्रमोदभावानाथकन्दरस्य
Ashrinvato mam anuragah sa
अश्रिन्वतो मम अनुरागः स
Samikshaya Visrimayan Uvacha.
समीक्षा
समीक्षा उवाच
Yeah, please read.
Maitreya Muni was greatly
I'll do.
attached. Sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
It's okay, Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Maitreya Muni was greatly attached to him, the Lord, and he was listening in a pleasing attitude, with his shoulders lowered, with a smile and a particular glance upon me. Having allowed me to rest, the Lord spoke as follows.
So Yeah, so Maitreya was very humble there. He was listening from a little distance. And with a smile and a particular glance upon me, having allowed me to rest, the Lord spoke as follows. The whole conversation, Lord was not looking at Maitreya. He was smilingly looking at Uddhava and providing, the conversation is going between, one-on-one conversation is going on between Uddhava and Lord Krishna in a loving way. Because Uddhava is a pure devotee of Krishna. A pure devotee means he's a lover of Krishna, naturally. And so lovingly, the Supreme Lord is looking at him and speaking here.
Although both Uddhava and Maitreya were great souls, the Lord's attention was more on Uddhava because he was a spotlessly pure devotee. A Jnana Bhakta, or one whose devotion is mixed with the monistic viewpoint, is not a pure devotee. Although Maitreya was a devotee, his devotion was mixed. The Lord reciprocated with his devotee on the basis of transcendental love and not on the basis of philosophical knowledge or fruitive activities.
Yeah. So Lord reciprocates with each person differently based on their love for the Supreme Lord. One is loving and a pure devotee, then naturally Lord is uh, very lovingly disposed towards them, because that's just reciprocation. If somebody is more, towards jnana path, naturally it's not the same. Now herein, the Lord's attitude towards Uddhava was more intimate than with Maitreya. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan
Bhagavan Vacha
Vedaham Anta Manasipsitam Te
Veda
Vedaham Antar Manasi Pitam Te
Dadami Yattad Duravapamanyai
Dadami Yatad Duravapam Anyay
Satre Pura Visva Srizam Vasuna
Satre Pura Visvasrajam Vashunam
Matsiddhikamena Vaso Tvayeshata.
Siddhikamena Vaso Trayesata.
Yeah, please read.
O Vasu, I know from within your mind what you desire of your when the Vasus and other demigods responsible for expanding the universal affairs performed sacrifices. You particularly desired to achieve my association. This is very difficult for others to obtain, but I award it unto
Because Lord knows the devotees' desires in their hearts. So Vasu, so Lord is addressing Uddhava as Vasu, because um, there are these Vasus who are like demigods. You know, they were responsible for. They were all representatives of the Lord, responsible for the universal affairs of the middle world. And this particular Vasu, he desired that he wanted close association with the Supreme Lord. And just to fulfill that desire, Lord, uh, when Lord came to this middle world in Vrindavan, uh, this particular Vasu became Uddhava, right? Based on the desire. Okay.
Uddhava. Uddhava is one of the eternal associates of the Lord, and a plenary portion of Uddhava was one of the eight Vasus in the days of yore. The 8 Vasus and the demigods in the upper planetary system, who are responsible for the management of the universal affairs, performed a sacrifice in the days of yore, desiring to fulfill their respective ultimate goals in life. At that time, an expansion of Uddhava, acting as one of the Vasus, desired to become an associate of the Lord. The Lord knew this because He is present in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma, the super consciousness.
So Lord exactly knows because He is eternally present in the hearts of all the living entities as Paramatma. So because this particular expansion of Uddhava in the spiritual world, who is acting as the 8th Vasu along with the demigods and performing sacrifice, he was specifically desiring the association of the Lord. So if we desire such association of the Lord sincerely and seriously, Lord would award. That is a lesson here, right? And we should aspire for such a desire, right? That is the purpose of human life. Whatever we desire, Lord would be fulfilling, especially spiritual desires. Yeah. So because Lord is in the heart of every jiva, sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. Yeah. Please read.
In the days of yore, when the demigods and Vasus performed sacrifice, Uddhava, as one of the Vasus, desired to enter into the association of the Lord, which is very difficult for those busy in empiric philosophical speculation or fruitive activities. Such persons have practically no information of the facts about becoming an associate of the Lord. Only the pure devotees can know, by the mercy of the Lord, that the personal association of the Lord is the highest perfection of life. The Lord assured Uddhava that he would fulfill his desire. It appears that when the Lord informed him by his indication to Uddhava, the great sage Maitreya finally became aware of the importance of entering into the association of Lord.
Because Maitreya was a gnani yogi, and he was always focused. So who is a gnani yogi? A gnani yogi is a person who uh, thinks that just by acquiring the knowledge about the nature of the soul and nature of God, they achieve the highest perfection, and there is no need to develop direct relationship with God in a loving. So there is no concept of service and especially devotion service to the Supreme Lord there. Just knowing knowledge and realization of that knowledge about the nature of the jiva, nature of the world, nature of the Supreme Lord is sufficient. That's what they think. But looking at the relation that is going on between Uddhava and Krishna, where Lord was personally glancing at Uddhava in a loving way and speaking these words, "Oh my dear Vasu," that's how he addressed, right? Lord addressed, because you desired in your past life as Vasu that you wanted the association of me. Now I have arranged such an association, and that is the reason you have been here with me. When Lord spoke like that, Maitreya got eye opener. He was just focused on how existence works, or how nature of nature of the jiva and nature of God. But he realized, oh, I'm missing something here. I should understand and develop personal relationship with Lord. So that was the relation gets. And yeah, so that is the time. So just like how Kumaras, right? They were jnanis too, just like Maitreya was. We see so many such pastimes. Even Sukadeva Goswami was a monist when he was in the womb of his mother, but he had the opportunity to hear Bhagavatam from his father, and that changed him. And even the Chatushkumaras, they are also same. They experienced the personality of Godhead in the spiritual world, and just by the smell of the tulsi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, their heart transformed. The words were very powerfully used there. How it created a explosion in their heart. That's the word it was used there. And they transformed completely to become devotees. So here, Maitreya, just by the words spoken by Lord in a loving relationship with Uddhava, he just came to his senses. Wow, this is the most important thing, to develop love, to desire the association of the Lord. And then, yeah, so that was the lesson here. You can see here. So lesson is for us is we have to also desire to become the associate of the Lord. Then Lord we should not just do devotional service just like mechanically, oh, I have to chant 16 rounds. Every day we should aspire to get closer, to get deeper understanding of the personality of Godhead, and be engaged in loving service of Him. Develop true love for Him. Develop the desire to be with Him. So that's how we have to consciously put efforts in that direction. So that's the lesson we can learn in this. Yeah, so we are at time. Any questions or realizations or anything anybody want to ask or share?
Yeah, Prabhu, I didn't know while Krishna was leaving to Vaikuntha, during his pastime, he had a four-hand form. So that was something new. Thank you.
Yeah, that was the form that Uddhava sees clearly. Uddhava knows that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but at that time he sees this four-handed form. Anyone else? Any takeaways? Anyone want to say?
Prabhu, the thing which I was not able to connect is the Vasus. Uddhava is also called as Vasu, which is
Mm.
something new which I heard.
Yeah, he is also Vasu. Bhishma is also a Vasu. You know that, right? You heard about that?
No, Prabhu.
They're all basically Vasus are like demigods.
Hmm.
They're higher living entities.
Okay,
They are in charge of universal affairs.
I see.
And, yeah, so when Lord came, he picked up those who are very very special, like Uddhava, Bhishma, to be with him, during the
Mm.
pastimes in this world, along with some directly coming from spiritual world. Yeah.
Okay. The special souls, call it as a Vasus.
No.
Mm.
Yes, Vasu. There are 8 Vasus. They have specific duties in the universal affairs. Um, and yeah, they are not like humans. They are like demigods, like Indra, Varuna, Vayu, right?
Okay.
They have much higher powers than human beings,
Hmm.
right?
Got it, Prabhu. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and all the Pandavas, they are as good as demigods because each of them were born of a demigod. Like for example, Yudhishthir Maharaj was born of Dharma, Dharmara,
Yamadharma.
yeah, Yamadharma, yeah. Arjuna was born of Purandara or
Indra.
Indra or Purandara. Purandara is the name of Indra.
Mhm.
Indra is a post. Each of these are posts. Indra, Varuna, these are posts. Each of them have their own name. Indra's name is Purandara, for example. Yeah, current Indra's name is Purandara. Yeah, so like that. Um, all all the devotees that have. And who is Arjuna? Arjuna is a constant associate of the Supreme Lord. In his previous incarnation, he was Naranarayan. He is the Nara of the Naranarayan pair who were meditating in the Badrikashram. Narayana is Krishna and Nara is Arjuna. So that same Naranarayana came as, of course, Krishna is the supreme, is the source of all incarnations. But in the pair of Naranarayana, he was the Nara, and also he is the son of Purandara. Yeah. So and Bhima was born of Vayu. So everybody is special. No one is ordinary. And gopis were all great sages, who were meditating, and especially during the time of Lord Rama, all these were great sages meditating in the forest. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Even Lord Chaitanya's associates, many of them were, their eternal forms were Manjaris and Gopis. Yeah. All the great acharyas, they were all, like that too. Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama, like that. Every associate,
Hanuman.
yeah, Hanuman is Murari Gupta. Yeah. So and then
Shaka Shaki.
yeah, Vishaka Saki is Ramanand Rai.
Yeah.
Like that, everyone is special there. And Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. Manjaris are assistants of gopis. And all the, I think most of the Goswamis who really worked and delivered great books and all, they're all actually Manjaris, the servants of gopis. The direct gopis, they were performing direct pastimes with the Lord Krishna, like Ramanand Rai, Vakreshwar Pandey. They're all, direct associates. Okay, we'll end the class here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.